What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about my man, the Hawk, and answer the question as to whether or not this uniform is actually worth buying. Well, I can tell you guys so far that the uniform is a huge upgrade compared to the Immortal Hawk uniform. Now, as far as PvE is concerned, that isn't really saying a tremendous amount because the Immortal Hawk uniform is pretty much trash in PvE. It really isn't that great, even though I have seen someone clear Dormammu solo with Immortal Hawk, but I mean, the guy had a lot of HP, so that is the difference, right? Because this guy's damage is based off of HP. Now, aesthetically, guys, as I said in the last video, I think he looks amazing, right? I love the breathing there. I mean, he just looks like he looks intense, right? And that's the way he should look. He looks insane. Unfortunately, I can't give you guys no, level 80 gameplay or anything because I'm still searching for his potential. But as far as his build, I mean, he does have 100,000 HP, which is where it's at when it comes to his damage. Physical attack doesn't really matter on him. And he does have 46 ignore defense. It's not max, but it's pretty close. Everything else is fairly maxed out. His critical damage maxed out. Critical rate's pretty much almost maxed out. His dodge is almost maxed out, which does help with survivability. But something to keep in mind, guys, is now he's a super villain. So there's going to be certain buffs that won't work on him. And the fact that his damage is based off of HP, you always got to use like HP buffs to really buff up his damage, or just like increased damage to super villains will also work for him. Now, I do have a really good build on him, guys. We got HP Ruse and blah, blah, blah on him. But they did change a couple things. They increased the damage of his tier 3. But I found so far, at least from the testing I've done so far, that canceling the tier 3 still just does more damage. Getting the 60% attack buff seems to still do more damage than doing his tier 3. But I'll have to test a little bit further to be perfectly honest. They also increased his skill damage. This was 35% in his Mortal Hawk uniform. Now it's 50%. That is nice. And then on the third skill, they actually changed this 30% increase of HP to 50%, which is awesome. That really buffs up his damage quite a bit. And they also gave him the increased basic damage by 1% per 1% HP increase. Increased damage cannot exceed 50%. So he more or less gets an increase of 50% damage, which is nice. I mean, it's big reason. That skill is a big reason why he does so much more damage. Plus, his fourth skill does do more hits. He does have ignore iframe. And it is a vicious skill. It really is. It's got damage proc by 100%. So I really think that having the damage proc, if you are playing with a proc, on the fourth skill is the way to go. However, that's not what we're going to be doing today. And then his fifth skill does give him immunity. He has native super armor, so it's really cool that he does have immunity in his kit. Now, his passive, they actually changed this too. This was 45% recovery of max HP. They changed it to 60%. So they gave him an even bigger HP heal once he reaches down to a certain amount of HP, which is awesome, guys. It just increases his survivability even more. His leadership is complete trash, right? And then the tier 4 skill, we'll talk about later whenever we do a tier 4 video, right? So essentially when you're playing with Hawk, guys, you really just want to hit the 3 to get the 50% HP buff and get that increased damage. And then hit the 5, and as soon as that hammer slams down, go into the 4th skill, right? If you wait for the hammer to slam down, if you delay that skill, you will get the damage from this thing. You can see the way the explosion looks right there, right? Right, that big circle, and then you got a nice little explosion at the end, right? And you don't see it here at all. So as long as you hit the 3 and then 5, slam down, boom, and then go into the 4, you'll get all that damage all at once. You'll do a lot more hits all at one time. So I think it is possible to play with them with the proc. I do think it is fairly possible to play with them with a proc. However, I don't have a proc on him right now, so it's difficult for me to know. But I mean, as soon as you hit that 3rd skill, guys, he gets that 50% buff. He gets it all at once. He gets everything all at once. You can literally cancel that thing, right, and then slam down and go into the 4. Which is awesome. That's a big improvement, is the fact that you can just cancel that thing so quickly. And I always throw in the 2 for a little more damage as well, because it does a lot of hits. His tier 3 does look a little bit different, right? He comes and slams down, seems to do more hits, but again, it seems like whenever I just cancel the tier 3, it just seems like I do more damage whenever I cancel that thing. It just, I don't know, that's just the way it looks to me. All right? And his type enhancements maxed out. I mean, his got Power of Angry Hawk Say. He does have his artifact, which would help him a lot if I did have that damn thing. And I'm just going to be running a CTP regeneration on him One thing about this little thing that I'm going to be doing is because I'm going to compare this to the Immortal Hulk uniform is that we don't have to worry about a proc, guys. So even if I play badly, you'll still get a really great idea of the damage difference between these two uniforms. This uniform is also at Mythic. So if you take a look at the uniform options, you got Blue Marble, which is, okay. Then you have Physical Attack. This actually needs to be changed to HP. You don't want physical attack on him. You actually want to change that to HP, give him a little bit more damage. That's way better. And if you level that thing up, I mean, I got this uniform at Legendary, and it's a good uniform. It's just a shame Green Goblin never got a Tier 3. Net Marble, what's up? And then the next one is Winter Soldier. Now, this is another one that really, I'm going to give him HP. I'm going to end up maxing out Winter Soldier's uniform, and I'm going to max out Green Goblins. That way he gets a lot more HP later on. And then the next one here is Kingo. And then we have critical rate for the last one here. Honestly, I could change this to all basic attacks. That would probably be okay. His critical damage is already maxed out, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is for now for this comparison. So, oh yeah, and when you look at his uniform effect, he does get the critical damage. He does get an increase of 5% chaining damage compared to the Immortal Hulk uniform. So if you look at the stats, guys, in the Null uniform here, the Fear Itself uniform, he has about 103,000 HP. And whenever you slap on the Immortal Hulk uniform, he has 106,000 HP. So he's got a lot more HP in the Immortal Hulk uniform than what he does in his Fear Itself uniform. Now, we're going to do this little comparison against Null, Stage 19. I'm going to use Captain America for 30% increase of HP, and then Taskmaster will actually buff Hulk, right? We're going to use a few Ignore Dodge Strikers because Hulk doesn't have any Ignore Dodge in his kit. And you guys are going to see a stark difference. Now, one thing about Hulk that we've never had to worry about, especially even since the Immortal Hulk uniform, is that he doesn't die. The dude's pretty much almost unkillable, which is nice. And it is one thing that they did really well with the character that I just absolutely love, right? I was always very, very happy with the way that they did that. But his damage just never really was, up to par. It just wasn't. So I'm going to slam down with that 5 and then go into the Tier 3 and then the 4. And I'm telling you guys, you are going to notice a stark difference. Now there I got caught, right? But we don't got to really worry about, taking any damage because, again, Hulk just doesn't die. He just doesn't. Maybe he wouldn't like super high stages, which we will be testing in another video. There we go. But you can see the damage that he's doing right now, guys. And it's not all that great, right? We got a leadership, we got another support, we got a CTP of Insight. And this is stage 19, and I got 22% Pierce on my account, right? It's not very representative of Hawk being the strongest there is it? Come on now, come on. Come on now. I mean, this is getting a little wacky here. There we go. And it's pretty pitiful, honestly. This is something about Hulk that I always thought was just wacky, right? This guy's like the strongest there is. I mean, isn't that kind of like his title? Isn't that what he always says and backs up in comics? But they really never made him the strongest there is for some goofy reason. Like, Captain America has been way stronger than Hulk, right? It's just so weird. Old Net Marbles, well, I would say logic, but they don't use any logic at all when they develop their characters. I mean, sometimes they do. I mean, let's be fair, sometimes they do. But with this character, no. And to be honest, quite a few others. And guys, I mean, this is taking forever. Like, how are you supposed to get anything done whenever you're doing this, right? How are you supposed to, clear this? You can't. You need to clear this thing in the first, minute 30 or even 2 minutes, right? And this is taking forever. These tornadoes are extremely, extremely annoying. Very annoying, man. Driving me crazy. But, I mean, we can sit here, we can just sit right in front of Null, and we can tank the living hell out of every attack Null throws at us. I mean, granted, it's only stage 19, but Hawk really isn't strong enough to do anything else. I mean, And we will do a little PvP test, guys. So, I mean, look at that, guys. I mean, it took 3 minutes. It took 3 minutes for him to take him down, take that first phase down. 3 minutes, right? Maybe it could have been a little bit faster, right? But still, 3 minutes? What? So let me slap on the other uniform here and see what happens. You're going to see a stark difference between the Immortal Hawk uniform and the Fear Itself uniform. There is a big difference. And look at the damage, guys. Right? Look at the damage. Right? And it's already, like, you can already see it. Right? He's already got the cage brought up. Right? He's already brought up the cage. I'm going to slam down, hit the tier 3 and then the 4. I mean, when he does that final slam, it is nice, right? And he's definitely going to see a big difference in the damage after he does his tier 3. All right, we'll just go ahead and wait. I mean, this is a huge difference. I mean, multiple bars, guys, almost like 4 bars. One thing I'm noticing, though, is like he doesn't get bigger whenever you hit the 3rd skill, which is, that was kind of a nice thing about the I mean, look at that, guys. A minute 20 seconds. A minute 20 seconds compared to 3 minutes. It is a huge difference. Huge difference. He even has less HP than what he had before. Is it? I mean, is he godly? I mean, I don't think so. But I mean, this is just level 70 comparison. I mean, he's pretty damn. I mean, he's way stronger than what he was before. So let me set up a PvP team because I know you guys are really curious about that. But I'm gonna tell you right now, guys, when it comes to PvP, old Hawk at level 70 isn't very impressive. He sometimes he gets some kills, but he's not really all that impressive. So I'll first set up a team with Colossus, if I can find him here. We'll set up a team with Colossus and we'll use Thanos' leadership. Okay, and we'll jump into timeline, right? And here we got a Thanos, Adam Warlock with Colossus. Let's see how he performs. All right, and you guys are gonna notice he's probably gonna get one-shotted like nothing. And if he had his artifact, it would be better because you get extra HP. But yeah, I mean, Thanos is stalling the timer right now. Hawk's gonna have his skills off cooldown. Well, Thanos actually got the kill. But then, Adam's gonna come in there. Well, that isn't exactly what I wanted to show you guys. Yeah. So Hawk's taking on Warlock, and boom, he gets killed. And this is like at level 70. This is what I've seen over and over and over. Even Spider-Man, guys. Even Spider-Man whoops his butt sometimes. I mean, and Spider-Man has the type disadvantage against him. So, like right now, at least in my humble opinion, he isn't really getting it done the way you'd want in PvP. Now, you guys know that I'm not a big PvP guy. But I know some of you are really hoping that he's going to be very, very strong. Now, obviously, when he's tier 4, when he's level 80, that's going to make a big difference. Right? But I still think, with the Reflect, with Warlock, and with Emma, I don't know, guys. I mean, he's definitely going to be better at tier 4, obviously. But how OP will he be? Hard telling. So here's Spider-Man, right? Right, and that happens a lot, guys. I mean, yeah, sometimes he'll get a win, but it's just having the type advantage, right? It's just what? I mean, he really should do better than that. I mean, obviously, if you switch up Colossus and you throw on another character, like say Hela, like say you put Hela in Colossus's place, right? Well, then you could try to do that again, right? We could try to go against his team again and see how he does. And sometimes he'll get the win if he's got Hela as a support, right? Because he's got the decreased damage received from heroes, the increased damage to heroes. It does make a difference, right? But here, Thanos is probably going to clap Hulk. Yeah, I mean, this is what I've seen over and over and over, guys. He just, like, right now at level 70, he just isn't that great here. He just isn't. I mean, man, AC, I'm sure he'll be really good. But in timeline, no. Against the current meta, no. Thanos clash him. And guys, I didn't even show you. Like, Emma will freaking murder his butt. Emma and Adam still, like, they will destroy him at level 70. He really he gets his butt whooped pretty quick. I mean, yeah, he'll get a kill now and again, but more often than not, he will lose. So I will keep the CTP regeneration on him, guys, and I will be doing further tests with Hulk to see how well he's going to do. You know, after tonight, after the reset, I'll be able to level 80 him. I'll be able to tier 4 him, which is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do some further testing with the character to see how well he can perform in PvE and PvP, just using a CTP regeneration. So right now, guys, I would just tell you that, I mean, obviously, if you want Hulk to be stronger, you're going to buy this uniform. It's going to make him a whole lot better. I think it's going to play easier. I think it's going to be a lot easier to play with a proc, to be perfectly honest. Even though I haven't tested that, just from watching his skills, I think it's just going to be a lot easier to play with him using a proc on top of having all the extra damage that he does have in this uniform. So I do think it is a good upgrade for him. Is it going to be enough? We'll find out. I mean, it's really hard to tell. You know, using a CTP regeneration, not having a proc, maybe with a CTP rage would be better, but then you wouldn't have as much HP compared to having the CTP regeneration. So, I mean, guys, we'll see, you know, how it's going to go down the road, but it is a big upgrade for him. It is a way better uniform. It's much easier to play. He has more survivability in this thing. He has more damage in this thing. So I do think it is a good uniform. Is it going to be a meta OP uniform? Well, that remains to be seen. So guys, let me know what you think about Hulk. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. TD+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.